Okay, so for first off, I'm going to have you introduce yourself and what you do for a living.
My name is John Padilla. I'm a high school history teacher at St. John Paul II Catholic High School. I've been teaching now for over 30 years and coaching for over 33 years, and been married, have 3 kids, and now these 33 years of teaching have been pretty productive and exciting for me, and I still like getting up and going to work every day.
So throughout your career, what kind of leadership have you been involved in?
I've been head football coach, head wrestling coach. I've been a department chair. I've been led some study groups in schools.
And I assume that leadership also with coaching as well.
Yes, being head football coach, head wrestling coach.
So for this assignment, you had to pick a virtue. So which virtue did you choose and why?
I chose temperance. It's supposed to be self-control. Teacher who is supposed to be, especially when it comes to teenagers, being able to choose when you react to certain situations in the classroom. You can't react to everything, and a lot of young teachers get involved in reacting to everything a student does, either bad or good. So you need to know. I always tell them about choosing their battles wisely to address issues or address students, and it's the same thing also when you're dealing with your administrators who are over you. If you're going to, fight for what you believe in, you got to choose. You can't fight every single battle every day, otherwise you won't last 30 years.
So why is this virtue so important? Why is this virtue so important in your leadership activities?
I think what it does is that it shows people that you're under control, especially again young people who have a tendency when you yell at them, they shut down. And so when you try to show them that you're under control, they have more confidence in themselves, and they also have a sense of well-being. And that under that self-control, you also then show them how to behave themselves.
So along with this assignment with choosing a virtue, you also had to choose a vice. So which one did you choose for that?
I would probably choose wrath.
And why that?
Or rashness. Because again, a lot of young teachers get caught up in the emotion of the situation. When a student behaves or does something in class, a lot of times they'll escalate it because they'll say something, and then so the student's going to say something, and so that escalation then gets out of hand. When again, telling those younger teachers that if it was something serious, like say a student was bullying, then you address that and you make that an important issue. But you don't necessarily do that if they didn't bring their pencil to class. And some teachers will write them up, some teachers will send them to the principal's office for things like that. And so you can't be doing that every day because you're in an emotional roller coaster, and it's tough to last 30 years or any longer in teaching because of that. You'll be emotionally wore out.
And the word vice always has kind of a negative connotation to it. So how and why could a vice be important in leadership activity?
Well, understanding that idea of that rashness is not what you want to do, but you need to understand what that means. Again, not just jumping down every single kid who does every single thing in your class, or in the hallway. You address those, you pick those things out that are really critical. It may be some kids who are horsing around and you tell them, just to clean it up. Or you may have a kid who's actually pushing some kid, and then you deal with that issue there. Again, I think when you're looking at being a teacher for a long period of time, you get emotionally drained if you constantly fighting all the time. So I think that idea of that self-control, that's why temperance is so important, is that you learn to control your emotions, you learn to control those things, you pick and choose which, again, those things are most critical for the lesson or for your students to learn, or even your players to learn. They're going to make mistakes. You give them that opportunity to correct those mistakes, but where you get upset with maybe if they keep doing the same repeated mistakes, and you may take them aside and you kind of guide them through 1 or 2, 3 different pieces of advice, and if they keep making the same mistakes, that's when now that you have to be harsh or rash and say, okay, this is enough. This is not going to be tolerated anymore.